doing it to the best of her ability, and she's doing a really good job. It's just what they're having her do doesn't make a lot of sense.
Thanks for tuning in to the No Clearance Podcast. Now subscribe, hit that like button, and enjoy the clip.
No clearance. The Last of Us Season 2 finally ended. Now, I started to talk about the first episode when that dropped, and I got a little behind, so I'm going to just talk about the season in the whole.
Okay.
This season was confusing for me. It was really good when it was really good. The first 2 episodes was fire. It came out with a bang. It stalled a little bit, had another good episode, and then just like ended real flat. So like, it just felt like one of those things where it's like they hyped it up so much, and then when you finally get it, they just didn't stick the landing, in my opinion. I think the show was really well acted. Like, everybody in the show did a really good job. Pedro Pascal killed it, like always. Everyone else killed it. The girl that plays Ellie, she killed it. She's acting her ass off. Now, what the writers did for her character wasn't the best, but she still did her job and she killed it. Everything about the show in total, everything was done well. It wasn't like people cared. The problem with this season is I don't think the writing was the best.
Ooh.
I think this season was really rushed.
What do you mean by rushed?
So this show's based off a video game.
Okay.
And it's basically doing the story of the video game, which is fine because the video game is set up like a movie. It would be really hard to like diverge from what the game does, what you do in the game.
Yeah.
But it just feels like they're just jumping too fast to things. It feels like they're just going to the next big thing as quickly as they possibly can. And it doesn't feel like they're taking their time and paying attention to detail when it comes down to the writing. Now, there's a lot of characters in the game that in a show you can expand upon a little bit more, give them a few more scenes, change, do that, and they just don't. There's some characters where it's like you could have gave them an episode for us to feel more attached to.
So there wasn't like enough like character development.
Not for some characters.
Okay, so
for the side characters, all the side characters, in my opinion, just felt like they was there unless they were like unless they had something to do that episode. But like the main issue I had with this season was how they did Ellie. It's like the show purposefully made you want to dislike her. And the actress, nothing against the actress, because I don't want to get this whole thing started with she's been getting a lot of backlash. This show in general has been getting a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
And I just want to, even though I'm saying negative things about it, I don't want to be grouped into that. I'm talking about the show in itself, just to preface. But the actress, she did a great job. But what they did with her character, every move she did, it just felt like she was incompetent. And in the game, she's very competent. Like, she's a badass in the game.
Yeah.
And they just, whatever they're doing, it just makes you dislike her. Like, every move they make is like, I've never seen a show try to make you dislike the main character so much.
What do you think the intention is behind that? Because I know you mentioned like, hey, you want to you don't want to deviate from what is already produced, but you do want it to feel like a sense of like, this is different from, the game or whatever the case may be. So why do you feel like there's like intention in that? Like,
I feel like this isn't a type of dislike where like, oh, this character sucks, I hate them, but they're just such a good character. I think it's legitimately like they just made her annoying.
Okay.
So like they didn't they didn't do the thing where she's like evil. And like, oh yeah, she's real bad, I hate her, but like you really like she's doing a really good job. Like if you've seen her or something else, you'd be like, oh, I gotta watch that. She's really good in that.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's she's doing it to the best of her ability, and she's doing a really good job. It's just what they're having her do doesn't make a lot of sense. Like for instance, now this is a weird scene in the show, but one of the characters that's like her love interest announces that she's pregnant.
Okay.
And she looks up at the screen and she goes, I'm gonna be a dad. And it's just like that was cringy how they did it.
Oh, okay,
You
okay.
know what
I
I'm
get what you
saying?
mean.
Like it was just like they did things and it was just like her character was cringy. She ain't listen to nobody. When everything she did seemed like it was an accident or she was incapable to do it. And it's just, I don't like what they did with the character. And I think that
Mm.
might have really ruined the show for a lot of people,
Hmm.
especially because this is a big spoiler. I don't know if you're ever going to watch it, Casey. But
Probably
in the
not.
second episode of the season, our boy Pedro Pascal gets killed.
Damn.
He dies.
Probably had another
Just as
project.
just as soon as he did in the video game. Like that was a very big controversy of the second season based off the second game. The big controversy is how they killed the main character of the first game.
Yeah.
And they did that really well, but also at the same time, the character that killed her is supposed to be the next main character, another main character in the show. You don't
Mm.
see her again until the end of the season.
Oh.
And that
Well.
was, I just feel like they could have done the show better
Mm.
to still line up with everything that happens in the game, but also not go the predictable route because it ended exactly where I thought it was going to end and it's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do to match it with the game. And the good thing about what happened last season was they still did everything in the game, but they still made it unique enough where it felt different in its own and not that like it was just trying to get from one story beat to the next.
Got you. Okay. 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 Huh.
So, it was
Interesting.
I'm as a total,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a score out of 10. Um, I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10.
Oh, that's not even passing.
Yeah, it's like a 6 out of 10. The
It's a
last
D.
season, the last season was like an 8-9.
Okay.
It was really
Wow,
good.
but that's a good little
That's a big
jump
fall
down
off.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. And the way and that's not to say the show isn't a good show. I still
Mm-hmm.
think it's a good show. It's still got a good story. There's still really good things that happens in the show.
Yeah.
But I just think it rushed things too much. I got this whole thing now where no show's gonna be good unless it's a limited series. If it's less than 10 episodes a season.
Telling you, I've been trying to tell
Yeah.
y'all. I really have
Because
gotten. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I think sometimes when there's a lot of episodes, to your point, it's like one, you run the risk of like having filler episodes. So it's like
yep.
episodes that's like this didn't add to the plot at all,
Mm-hmm.
or you have episodes that are jam packed, but then it doesn't like they don't go well together, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So it's like each episode is like its own show and not necessarily it's not cohesive.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where if you're gonna do less than 10 episodes,
Mm.
you gotta make sure every episode's a banger.
Yeah.
You know, like for instance, the other big show that was coming out the same time as this show is Andor on Disney Plus, the Star Wars show.
You know, I
That
have not
show,
been on Disney Plus. I need to check out Disney Plus.
if you're into Star Wars, you'd really like Andor. If you're not into
Mm.
Star Wars, you probably won't like Andor. You probably won't. It's a good show in a total, but if you're not into Star Wars, you're not gonna like get the same feeling that the show
Gotcha.
should give you.
Yeah.
But I will say that show dropped 12 episodes, and it was only out for 4 weeks. They dropped 3 episodes a week, and it was like 4 miniature movies a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
And that show was really good. And that show was over 12 episodes. But if that show was only 9 episodes, it still would have been a really
Yeah.
good season
Would have
of
been solid.
television.
Mm.
Exactly. So like the whole, but to get back to The Last of Us, that's why I give it a 6 out of 10. I just think it could have been done way better. A lot of the episodes were good, had good moments, but then it was just like, all right, this is dragging a little bit. Even the best episode of the season, critically the best episode, is everyone's saying is the second to last episode, the flashback episode. They're saying that's the best episode, and that was still a little slow for me. I think the best episode is the one when Joel died, but that's because it was an action-packed thing.
Gotcha.
There was a zombie horde coming on, friggin' Pedro Pascal getting snatched up. You think you think he's safe. You think they're all good, and next thing you know, they turn on him. It's a whole thing.
Oh, wow.
He gets shot in the leg. they murdered that boy.
Oh wow.
That boy get murdered. But he deserved it. The overall story's really good. Like
Mhm.
if you get into video games, I
Mhm.
recommend the games, both of them. I just it's one of those things where they could have doing so many different ways and they just decided not to do it the best.
Gotcha. Okay.
At least this
Fair.
season. Hopefully they learn their lessons. They seem like they have a staff that responds to the fans.
Oh, that's good. That's
So
good.
like and the guy who makes the games is very involved with the show. So he seems like he's a little in
Oh, and you
touch.
know what? I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like sometimes when they do like remakes or they
Yeah.
take something and put it, make it into a show, they miss that like
Yeah.
authenticity because they don't have the
Yeah.
person like there and involved. So that's good that he's involved or he or she.
Yeah, so so it's a I think he wrote a couple episodes and directed a couple too. He's good, but like the show is they need to go back to the
But
drawing
maybe
board.
this is like setting the like stage for the next season though.
So here's my thing. All right, this here's my thing about this though. Is they didn't have to the way they're going about it, they're stretching it out to 4 seasons. I already know they're making the second game in the 3 seasons of TV, which
Okay.
is fine and all, but it should have been like 10 episode seasons, and then they could have dived into some of the characters in the game
Mm.
and like for instance, this is character Jesse.
Okay.
He's a really good character, and at one point in the season finale, him and Ellie separate and go different directions. Instead
Gotcha.
of just like having that episode be the finale, that could have been the end of an episode. They could have did an episode seeing what Jesse's doing, and then Essie seeing what Ellie's doing, and then
Oh.
and then the season finale where they ending up in the end of this episode. Like
Mm.
they could have been 3 episodes out of the finale itself, in my
Gotcha.
opinion.
No,
So
that
like
makes sense.
why would they do it? It's like they were trying to do what the Game of Thrones thing did in their final season. Rush the shit. Sometimes it's
Oh.
best to take your fucking time. Sorry to cuss. It just gets me upset. No clearance.